Hey guys, welcome back to another gacha video, and today we're going to be talking about the newest MiHoYo game that was just released a few days ago, Zenless Zen Zero. Is it good? Is it bad? A lot of people say it's a 6 out of 10. What do I think? I don't know, let's talk about it. Okay, so let's start off with the graphics. I played this game on PC and on my mobile phone. My mobile phone is something like a Poco. It runs this game pretty well. Doesn't really heat that phone that much, so it's not like Wuthering Waves that kind of like you're worried that your phone is gonna overheat. I don't know about other phones, but my phone was running this game pretty well. I haven't really tried it on the iPad, but I think it will run well. I believe that MiHoYo games are more optimized than Kuro games. Let me talk about the graphics on mobile first, because that is where I played this game at the beginning. Like the first time that I played it on my mobile phone. It looks really good. I would give this game on mobile phones on the highest setting, maybe not even the highest settings, maybe in the medium settings, because it was on default on medium. I would give this game a 12 out of 10, like the prettiest mobile game, anime gacha game that I played or seen on a mobile phone. It uses, I think, chromatic aberration. I'm an artist and I do some filters back then when I was still drawing. There's like where you put a picture on top. Maybe I'll show a picture here on the screen. Chromatic aberration. I think on mobile phones, it uses that. It kind of makes the entire screen look like old. That's weird, right? Because it's making it lower quality, but at the same time, it's making it look better. So the entire game has like this graphic or aesthetic that is I'm really a fan of. It's a mixture of Splatoon. If you have like a Nintendo, if you're familiar, it's a Nintendo franchise. Splatoon, it has like that punk, colorful atmosphere, retro. I'm not sure about retro, but another franchise that this I think took a lot of inspiration is Jet Set Radio. It's not really a popular game. It's a game made by Sega back then. And this game is kind of like that. Now, I can't really remember a bunch of games that uses this type of aesthetic, but this game so far has like a very distinct, unique look to it. If you haven't played Splatoon, then you might, like, wow, this is really cool. But if you played Splatoon, it kind of reminds me of Splatoon, and the presentation is very flashy. The UI for me, I think, is great. I saw some videos saying that it was bad, but for me, I really like it. It's a bit old school. Everything looks like it has like some embossed look to it. Like you could press the buttons and stuff. Let's see here. Which isn't really present in the recent gacha games. Everyone is going for that modern minimalist look, but for this one, as you can see, I might zoom in, but everything in this game has like some emboss to it. Like it's like a 3D, not 3D, but it's something that has a depth, right? Let's go to the skills. I find this this will describe pretty much what I'm trying to say. Look at these buttons here. Like in modern design, they're just gonna place a flat circle there. Now this thing is a preference, I find it very cool, although a little bit like 90s, maybe 2000 type of design, but they have like very colorful, very flashy, sometimes too flashy that it's a bit confusing, but I really like it, and they have like different animations here. For me, in terms of like presentations and UI, this is the best, right? On PC, on mobile phone, I am in love with how this game is presenting itself. For the environment is a bit small, all right? If you play Persona, it's pretty much like that. Like you have like lots of invisible walls, and sometimes you could climb stairs like this, and that's actually a pretty rare thing that happened. But there are places, for example, this one, I think you can't go up here, right? Invisible walls, guys. So if you're expecting something like a game that lets you explore the world, this is not it, all right? This is not it. I don't think you could go up here. As you can see, it's a stair, but there's an invisible wall. There's a lot of invisible walls in the game. It's not really anything crazy like Genshin, where you could jump or glide, or Wuthering Waves. Even Star Rail, I think, has like better exploration on this. I mean, this is an invisible wall here. This really reminds me of Persona 5 and 4, 3. I haven't really played the remake yet, but yeah, there you go. Some invisible walls, but the lighting, as you can see on PC, really good, really nice. Unfortunately, like I said, not a lot of exploration can be done. The towns are pretty small, but very detailed. Let me go to the shop and let me show you guys the shop. Pretty simple. I wish you could like walk around the shop and you know, see some objects and stuff, but we have a menu here. That's it. So I was going to show you guys what I think about the character models, and I went into the game, but it was a bit small. So I'd rather talk about the character models here in this menu, because they're showing the characters here quite big, but I could zoom in and show you or tell you guys what I'm trying to point out, which is in this game, there's a lot of colors or shades that they use. It's not really cell shaded. It is cell shaded, but there's a lot of colors here. I'm looking at the part here, which I will probably zoom here in the video. This is just a flat red. In Genshin, there's probably like 2 or 3 colors here. Like the normal color, the highlight, and the shadows, and maybe another darker shadow. So that's like 4 shades. In this game, there's like, wow, there's a lot. It looks like a painting in my opinion. Let me count the colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5. Not a lot, but it looks a lot more painted, if that makes any sense. I really like it, and although it's just a style, you know, I think in Wuthering Waves maybe they do the same thing, but in this game it just pops out more. I think the colors are more contrasting or something, but I really like the models. Unfortunately, that's the rendering that they do. I'm a huge fan of like how they rendered the characters, but I think the character designs themselves not so much. And this is because I played Wuthering Waves. I'm not a huge fan of like how MiHoYo do the faces in the in-game models, but in the artwork, I think what they have is pretty good. And the comic book cutscenes in this game are amazing. I think they're like 12 out of 10. I really like the presentation. I'd rather have that instead of like 2 NPCs or like a cutscene in Genshin. Really well done. I'm not sure how how difficult, which is more difficult, like rendering a complete comic book scene like that, or maybe just rendering it on like 3D and animation. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the character models. I think how they render it is really good. Unfortunately, the in-game models, not a huge fan of like the faces. For me, I think I like the Wuthering Waves 3D character faces more than this one. But in terms of like comparing this to Genshin or Star Rail, I think unfortunately Star Rail isn't the top dog in like character models, but it depends on like other people. That's my own opinion. I think this is like the best one. A lot of colors were used. And move on to the sound, right? So I can't really show the audio here. I might get copyright strike, but maybe in the future I will use the songs or music that were used on this game, because I think the music in this game is absolutely amazing. Not like in Wuthering Waves, where it's like, it's okay, some music are good, some are bad. In general, I think MiHoYo has like more budget, so they could like throw or make more music that is soundtrack that is more engaging compared to like other gacha games. The budget is really high, I guess, but really like it, especially the battle theme. It gets you pumped up. Reminds me of maybe Splatoon or maybe like Persona and Jet Set Radio Future. So absolutely amazing. The voice acting, I think, is top notch. I don't have any complaints. There's like no weird lifeless. Actually, there's a lifeless character here. Not really lifeless, but more of like the generic character that is. This character could be in Wuthering Waves. All right. I can't, but what's her name? Anby, main character Anby. She sounds a little bit like a character from Wuthering Waves, but it is intentional. Overall, I think the character sounds, our character voice actors did a really good job of, doing what they need to do. Okay, so let's talk about the gameplay. Now, there's like two types of gameplay here. The one is the TV mode, which I will try to show later, but maybe I don't know if I can get footage out of that. But let me show you the battle, right? But let's go ahead and go to the tutorial here. I think you go to skills. This is a bit hidden. I wish this was more easily, I guess, easily viewed. But you go to this menu, the skills menu, and you go to the right side here, press the X, and you can see here skill demo and cooperation exercise. So go here and you could try out the character. There's a short tutorial that teaches you how the character works. I just wish this was like present on some more obvious menu, right? But pretty simple. It's like Genshin, but a little bit like something above, no, not actually above Genshin, but somewhere along the complexity of Genshin, but definitely below Wuthering Waves. Maybe I would say even below PGR. I haven't really played Honkai Impact that much. I played it for a few hours and I said like, I think PGR is better than this game. But who knows, maybe I will try that game again. But yeah, for the combat, it's not as in-depth. And I was surprised. I was like, okay, they made a crossover with Capcom, with Street Fighter. So this might have like really complex, combat. It turns out it's pretty simple. You have like these buttons here at the bottom. You have like the normal attacks, right? And you have, see the menu pops out of nowhere if you're not doing anything. But you have the dash, and let me see if you have a dash attack. You have a dash attack, so that's nice. And you have a special move, kind of like Genshin. And then you have the burst. And the main thing in this game is that there's like swapping, and I think what they did with the swapping is really cool. I really like it, where you could like swap in and out on like enemies. For example, like this one, I will swap to the bear, right? Do a couple of attacks, and sometimes when you use the skill, you could swap back and you press here, you do the burst. Very flashy combos, very fun, but not as difficult like I wish it was. And there's like a perfect dodge here. Let me just, there's a perfect dodge. It's not really flashy like in PGR. If you do a perfect dodge, it is so satisfying. But in this game, it's like, it's all right. The flashiest thing here would be the one that you could parry with another character, and that's really cool because the characters go in and out in combat. So let's say you're like doing that, you swap to your other character, and you swap out. Sometimes you do an attack together. It depends on like, I guess, not every like joint attacks. For example, Keqing and Zhongli has like a special attack because they're both from Liyue. There's like that parry there. It's really cool. I really like it, but you don't need it. You can just like mash one button and be okay. And pretty fun combat. Not as complex as Wuthering Waves. Doesn't have a jump button. I wouldn't really say that it's more complex than Genshin. It's just a different flavor in my opinion. In some ways, I think they're pretty much par with Punishing Grey Raven, but a different type of flavor. Really flashy, really fun, but very easy, so you don't really need to do the mechanics that much. I wish it was more difficult. I think it really hampered or like damaged the image of the game because this game doesn't really have exploration, right? Like the open world type of game like Genshin or Wuthering Waves. And the only thing that this game has over those games that I mentioned is the aesthetic, which is really like I really like the graffiti, hip hop, futuristic, or at the same time retro looking environment or look or aesthetic, and combat. Like in a video, probably people are gonna be saying like, wow, this looks better than Genshin. But if you actually play it, it's pretty much in the same line. So yeah, those are my thoughts about the gameplay. Now the other gameplay is the map gameplay, which I will try to find the footage here. So here is the TV mode. Fortunately, I found that the exploration mode was the TV mode, and it's pretty simple. I'm not really a huge fan of this. I don't really know if this thing is actually needed in the game so far. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe in the future we will have like so far the hours that I played this game, I didn't really think that this did anything different. It kind of, I'm not a huge fan of this, but maybe in the future they will implement something that makes this mode really engaging. The story, which I haven't really talked about, I think it's pretty good. It's not anything like Final Fantasy that's gonna make me like cry or anything. It's nothing too crazy so far, but I enjoy it maybe because of the characters. I find the characters quite likable, I guess. I like Nicole. I like this Anby. I'm not a huge fan of what's his name, Billy. Not so much. I met this character in the story, Corin. Pretty fun. I also met this one, Nekomata. It's okay. I really don't know what's the story about so far, but I enjoy it, and I think that's the most important thing, right? Quite enjoyable story. Doesn't need to be like super in-depth like Final Fantasy or anything like that. Baldur's Gate. It's just a fun little story, right? So for me, the story is pretty good. Can't really say that it's above Star Rail, but I would probably put this under Star Rail. So that means a lot. I mean, that says a lot. That means that Genshin and Wuthering Waves are like, I enjoy this. I enjoy it. Maybe I will change my mind in the future, but so far, maybe the first 10 hours or maybe first 5 hours on all the games, I think this is pretty high. But again, it's nothing really in-depth or anything. So far, I just enjoy how they presented the story, right? Very nice characters, very enjoyable pacing, I guess. So, there you go. Just hopefully a short description of like how I feel about certain things about the game, the graphics, the sound, the gameplay, the combat, the TV mode, the assignments, the story. I think a lot of people like Asmongold and Tectone and other YouTubers said it was a 6 out of 10. Do I agree with them? Yeah, sure, maybe a 7. Definitely, you cannot put this game above Genshin. You cannot put this game above Star Rail, and you cannot put this game above Wuthering Waves. You might be able to put this game on top of, maybe PGR, but PGR's combat's pretty fun. Maybe on top of Honkai Impact, but I haven't played that game that much to give an opinion. So it's probably a B tier. Maybe let's say Genshin Wuthering Waves are S in Star Rail. Maybe this is, maybe a B. I think there's like a huge gap between these games, right? But am I going to quit this game? No, absolutely not, because like I said earlier, I like the gameplay of this game. It's short. It's like what I'm looking for in a phone game. Kind of like I do my dailies on PGR for like 5 minutes and just, okay, that's fun. I don't really play Genshin story arc on Quest for 1.5 hours on my phone, right? Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for the people that did subscribe. The subscription has increased in 5. We are 20 subscribers now. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and leave a like, maybe a comment. Leave a dislike if you dislike the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one.